there's still so much still unknown about space, and that freaks me out. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily, and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 cryptic messages from space yet to be decoded. Number 10. The Milky Way Signal. On April 28, 2020, two ground-based radio telescopes detected an intense pulse of radio waves within the Milky Way. It was the first time a fast radio blast, aka FRB, had ever been detected within our galaxy, and despite only lasting a millisecond, it was almost impossible to miss. Located just 30,000 light years away from Earth, the FRB was picked up by the Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment, CHIME, and the Survey for Transient Astronomical Radio Emission 2, STARE-2. Now CHIME wasn't even looking in the right direction, and we still saw it loud and clear in our peripheral vision, said Kiyoshi Masui, assistant professor of physics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. STARE-2 also saw it, and it's only a set of a few radio antennae literally made out of cake pans. April 2020's discovery was also notable for being the most energetic radio blast that astronomers had ever recorded in the Milky Way. But what made it most exciting is that scientists are now closer to determining the origin of FRBs. They've been billions of light years away, making them a lot harder to study, but now there's one that's close by. Number 9. The WOW Signal. In 1977, astronomer Jerry Ehman was researching at the Ohio State University when an incredible and unexplainable radio signal was detected using the school's Big Ear telescope. In those days, information was run through what was called an IBM 1130 mainframe computer before being printed on paper and then studied by hand. Upon reviewing the findings, Jerry came across something he had never seen before. There in the vertical column was the sequence 6EQUJ5. Jerry was amazed and immediately circled the sequence and wrote "wow" right beside it. Hence the name. The signal they picked up had come from nearly 220 million light years away, and there was no explanation as to how or why a radio signal could be detected from that distance. It immediately became a sensation in both the science community and the rest of the world, and was used to support the search for alien life in the universe. Jerry himself says he's convinced that it certainly has the potential to be the first signal from extraterrestrial intelligence. Number 8. Space music. Now, sound needs a medium to travel, and thus it cannot be heard in the vacuum of space, yet astronauts have returned to Earth with fascinating tales of hearing odd noises while in space, which is terrifying, by the way. During the Apollo 10 mission, which was a test run for sending the first men to the moon, astronauts were carrying various equipment with them, which was being tested to withstand space as they were deemed essential for the moon landing. While circling the moon, the astronauts on the vessel heard a certain whistling sort of music. Now, the music lasted for almost an hour and creeped the living daylights out of the astronauts. One of them described the sound as sort of otherworldly music. On returning to Earth, the astronauts struggled for a while on whether or not to tell NASA and the rest of the world about what they experienced. Now later, astronaut Michael Collins, who was a part of the Apollo 11 mission with Aldrin and Armstrong, revealed hearing similar music while on the moon's surface. Now NASA believed them and made the recording public that astronauts reported hearing in 1969 while on the far side of the moon, out of radio contact within Earth. Now NASA says the sounds could not have been alien music, but I think I have to disagree. An engineer from the US Space Agency said that the noises likely came from interference caused by radios that were close to each other in the lunar module and the command module, but I'd like to believe that it was aliens that made that noise. Number 7. Noise in the stratosphere. In 2023, strange sounds that were recorded high in the Earth's atmosphere had scientists baffled. A solar-powered balloon mission detected a repeating infrasound noise in the stratosphere, and scientists don't know what's making it. A solar-powered balloon mission launched by researchers from Sandia National Laboratories carried a microphone to a region of Earth's atmosphere found 31 miles above the planet called the stratosphere. The region is relatively calm and free of storms, turbulence, and commercial air traffic, meaning microphones in this layer of the atmosphere can eavesdrop on the sounds of our planet, both natural and human-made. However, the microphone in this particular study also heard strange sounds that repeated a few times per hour. Their source has yet to be identified. The sounds were recorded in the infrasound range, meaning they were at frequencies of 20 Hz and lower, while below the range of the human ear. There are mysterious infrasound signals that occur a few times per hour on some flights, but the source of these is completely unknown, Daniel Bowen of Sandia National Laboratories said in a statement. Number 6. Pisces and Aries radio signal. A radio signal was received 3 times from the same region of space in February 2003. Astronomers with the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence SETI project used a massive telescope in Puerto Rico to re-examine 200 sections of the sky which had all previously yielded unexplained radio signals. Now these signals had all disappeared except for one which had become stronger. The signal is widely thought to be the best candidate yet for alien contact and comes from a spot between the constellations Pisces and Aries where there are no obvious stars or planets. Curiously, the signal is at one of the frequencies that hydrogen, the most common element, absorbs and emits energy. Some astronomers believe that this is a very likely frequency at which aliens wishing to be noticed would transmit. Nevertheless, there is a good chance that the signal is from a never seen before natural phenomenon, but I'd like to think that it's aliens. Number 5. Mysterious signals from a distant galaxy. The Chime Observatory found 13 FRBs, and among it was a very unusual repeating signal coming from the same source about 1.5 billion light years away. Such an event has only been reported once before by a different telescope. Knowing there is another suggests that there could be more out there, said Ingrid Stairs, an astrophysicist from the University of British Columbia. And with more repeaters and more sources available for study, we may be able to understand these cosmic puzzles, where they're from and what causes them. The telescope detected 13 of the radio bursts almost immediately, including the repeater. The research has now been published in the journal Nature, and we have discovered a second repeater and its properties are very similar to the first repeater. This tells us more about the properties of repeaters as a population, said Saharsh Tenkur of McGill University, Canada. Number 4. Radio signal heartbeat. Astronomers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have picked up on repetitive radio signals from a galaxy billions of light years away from Earth. Scientists have not been able to pinpoint the exact location of the radio waves yet, but the signals have been occurring steadily and last up to 3 seconds. Most fast radio bursts only last a few milliseconds. Now within this window, the team detected the burst of radio waves that repeat every 0.2 seconds in a clear periodic pattern similar to a beating heart, MIT said in a statement. On December 21, 2019, researchers at the Dominant Radio Astrophysical Observatory in British Columbia, Canada, picked up a signal of a potential FRB, according to the MIT statement. Not only was it very long, lasting about 3 seconds, but there were periodic peaks that were remarkably precise, emitting every fraction of a second, boom boom boom, like a heartbeat, said Danielle Michelli, a postdoctoral researcher in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Calvi Institute for Astrophysics and Space Research. This is the first time the signal itself is periodic. Data on the bursts, including their frequency and how they change based on where the source is located in proximity to Earth, could help researchers determine what speed the universe is expanding. Number 3. Bright quick blasts of radio waves. Repeating bursts of energy seem to be coming from an ancient group of stars called the Glober Cluster, which is among the last places astronomers expected to find them. Often originating billions of light years away, the extremely bright, extremely brief bursts of radio waves, known as the fast radio bursts or FRBs, have defied explanation since they were first spotted in 2007. Based on observations to date, scientists surmise that the bursts are powered by young, short-lived cosmic objects. But a fast radio burst discovered has now been traced to a Glober cluster about 11.7 million light years away, near the neighboring spiral galaxy M81. Now to put it in perspective, finding this burst among a cluster of aging stars is kinda like finding a smartphone embedded in Stonehenge. The observation doesn't make sense. Brian Gensler, an astronomer at the University of Toronto, said this is definitely not a place where fast radio bursts are expected to live. Scientists are struggling to explain the cosmic anchorism. They're also moving forward to the conclusion that maybe, as with many other celestial phenomena, there is multiple ways to cook up a fast radio burst. Number 2. Bursts of energy. While mapping radio waves across the universe, astronomers found a celestial object releasing giant bursts of energy unlike anything they've ever seen before. The spinning object, spotted in March 2018, beamed out radiation 3 times per hour. In these moments, it became the brightest source of radio waves viewable from Earth, acting like a celestial lighthouse. A study on the discovery was published in the journal Nature, and lead study author Natasha Hurley-Walker, an astrophysicist at the Curtin University node of the International International Center for Radio Astronomy and Research, said this object was appearing and disappearing over a few hours during her observations. That was completely unexpected. It was kinda spooky for an astronomer because there's nothing known in the sky that does that, and it's really quite close to us, about 4,000 light years away. It's in our galactic backyard. Now, Curtin University student Tyrone O'Doherty made the unusual discovery while using the Murchison Wide Field Array, aka the MWA telescope, in the outback of Western Australia. Tyrone said, "It's exciting that the source I identified last year has turned out to be such a peculiar object. The MWA's wide field of view and extreme sensitivity are perfect for surveying the entire sky and detecting the unexpected." And coming in at number 1 is the farthest radio signal from a galaxy. Astronomers using the radio telescope in India have captured the most distant ever radio signal from a galaxy. Now, the signal came from a galaxy called SDSS J0826+5630 that exists 8.8 billion light years away. That essentially means that it exists closer to the Big Bang than any other galaxy previously detected using radio astronomy. A galaxy emits different kinds of radio signals, said Arnab Chakraborty, a postdoctoral researcher who studies cosmology at the Department of Physics at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. Until now, it's only been possible to capture this particular signal from a galaxy nearby, limiting our knowledge to those galaxies closer to Earth. The researchers from both Montreal and India used the giant meter wave radio telescope in Pune, India to capture the signal at a specific wavelength called the 21 centimeter line. The signal from the galaxy was emitted when the universe was only 4.9 billion years old, but because the universe is expanding, it took 8.8 billion years to reach the telescope. This breakthrough proves that it's possible to observe faraway galaxies using existing low-frequency radio telescopes. This will help us understand the composition of galaxies at much greater distances from Earth, said Arnab. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 cryptic messages from space yet to be decoded. Can you think of any explanation for any of these signals? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're down there. I'm your host Emily, and we'll see you next time. Peace.